Once upon a time, in Egypt, a new pharaoh came to power who did not know Joseph or his people. He saw that the Israelites were growing numerous and strong, so he enslaved them and forced them into harsh labor. But the more the Egyptians oppressed them, the more the Israelites multiplied. Fearing they would become too powerful, Pharaoh gave a terrible order. Every Hebrew baby boy born must be thrown into the Nile River. But one woman, Jochebed, could not bear to lose her son. She hid her baby for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she placed him in a basket lined with tar and pitch and set it afloat among the reeds of the Nile. Pharaoh's own daughter came to bathe in the river and found the baby crying. Moved with compassion, she took him in as her own and named him Moses, which means drawn out of the water. Moses grew up in Pharaoh's palace with all the riches of Egypt, but knew he was Hebrew. One day, as a grown man, Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. In anger, Moses killed the Egyptian and buried him in the sand. When Pharaoh heard of this, Moses fled for his life to the land of Midian. There he settled down, married Zipporah, the daughter of a Midianite priest, and became a shepherd. Years passed. One day, while tending sheep near Mount Horeb, Moses saw a strange sight. A bush was on fire, yet it did not burn up. As he came closer, God called to him from the bush, "Moses, Moses." Moses replied, "Here I am." God told Moses he had heard the cries of his people and would deliver them from slavery. He commanded Moses to return to Egypt and demand Pharaoh let his people go. Moses, feeling unworthy and afraid, asked, "Who am I to do this?" But God promised, "I will be with you." Reluctantly, Moses returned to Egypt with his brother Aaron as his spokesman. They stood before Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." Pharaoh refused. So God sent plagues upon Egypt, 10 terrible plagues. Water turned to blood, frogs covered the land, gnats and flies swarmed, livestock died, boils afflicted the people, hail destroyed crops, locusts devoured what was left, darkness covered Egypt for 3 days. And finally, the most dreadful plague of all, the death of every firstborn Egyptian. But the Israelites were spared through the first Passover. After this final plague, Pharaoh finally let them go. Moses led the people out of Egypt. But Pharaoh changed his mind and pursued them with his army. Trapped between Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea, the Israelites panicked. But Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and God parted the waters. The people walked through on dry ground. When the Egyptians pursued, the waters crashed back, drowning Pharaoh's army. In the wilderness, Moses continued to lead the people toward the promised land. They faced hunger, thirst, and rebellion. But God provided manna, water from a rock, and guidance every step of the way. At Mount Sinai, God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, laws to guide his people. Moses' life was marked by courage, faith, and obedience. Though he was not perfect, he was chosen to free God's people. His story reminds us that God can use anyone, no matter their past, to fulfill his purpose.